Toyin Umesiri. Welcome to the session today, the art and discipline of leveling up. It's going to be quite deep. Thank you so much for joining. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Toyin Umesiri. Call me Coach Toyin. I'm the founder and CEO of Nazaru, author of Mindset of an Entrepreneur. I also am instructor at the Entrepreneurs Academy. That's my business school for success. And so I want to welcome you all today. How are you, Sarah, Mark, Intando, Sibanda? I also see Daphne on Clubhouse. Welcome, everyone. Drop your name. Let me know where you're joining from. We have audio, video going on. And if there's something I say that resonates with you, feel free to type it, feel free to share it. Also, feel free to invite more people. And if you're joining on YouTube, do like, subscribe, and reshare this. It's going to be fantastic. So, if you're trying to achieve more success, because when it comes to leveling up, this is a personal journey, right? What you consider as your next level of dimensional results is different from mine, is different from others, right? But what I'm going to share to you, you can personalize it. Okay. So, what does leveling up mean to you, right? It could be a promotion, it could be more money if you're an entrepreneur, right? It could be more results in specific areas of your life. It could be discipline yourself, developing new skills, improving on your relationship. Yes, your level up could be, listen, I need a new man in my life. Right? So whatever that is, hold it, that's your desire, your next level results. But one of the things I want to share today is that many times people try to change without transforming. There are times when your level up may be incremental changes, incremental improvements. But if you want accelerated success, radical results requires radical transformation. So when I talk about quantum leap, is that while you can do additions, back to mathematics, my first degree is mathematics. There's an equation where you add on, plus you are adding on skills, you're getting yourself improved, you're learning new language, on and on. Yes, addition. There's also multiplication. There's also, exponential growth. The results of those equations, they're different. But when it comes to radical results, if you want to achieve transformational results faster, you cannot achieve it by simply changing. You actually have to achieve it by deep inner transformation. So I'm going to break it down today. Deep inner transformation will shift your world in such a drastic way in a shorter distance. It will require a lot of work though, but I'm just trying to paint this picture. Imagine if a caterpillar believes it can fly. Yet, most of the programs, most of the investments I see people making is just getting more results out of the caterpillar. Tell the caterpillar, walk faster, move faster, right? Those are incremental changes, incremental skills. But there are certain things you're going to need to do if you want to ever fly. If the caterpillar wants to become a butterfly, you have to change mindset. You have to change skill set. You have to develop and grow new tools, new wings, because most people are stuck in a place where they have less capacity for their dreams. Okay? So I'm going to break it down today because when it comes to who you are, identity has to change. The reason I say identity has to change is that most people are identifying with stories that is beneath their next level. If you're not used to my work, we go deeper, right? So that we can go higher. We go deeper so that we can go higher. People are trying to build on faulty foundation. Everything crumbles eventually. You lose steam, you give up, you return back to your original state. Don't try to build on an old identity that is baked on stories of limitation, stories that is rooted in self-sabotage. If you build without really fixing that internal dimension and strengthening the inner core, people eventually you lose steam, you lose momentum, and the tendency is that people get back to status quo. So if you want permanent transformation, lasting results, it is tied to strengthening your inner self. It is tied to strengthening your inner self. The programs that I run at my school, Toyin Umesiri Academy, we are so deeply focused on your inner self and then developing skills that is externally focused. And I'm going to break down why today. Greetings, greetings. I see more people joining. Hi, Nico. How was your weekend? Feel free to come up to the stage if you want to engage and contribute as well. I also see comments coming in. Ronan Shen saying, okay, welcome. You're joining from LinkedIn. I also have LinkedIn audio. Sad just joined as well. Thank you. We're going deep. Listen, I don't stay on the surface. If you're ready to go deeper, then I'm your person, because we go deep to go high. So think about this. One of my programs, the game plan, I talk about this gap, this identity gap, where who you are. Hi, Stephanie. Good to see you. Greetings. Yeah, pull up. Everybody pull up. I see Nicole saying greetings. Yes, good morning. Thanks for the flowers. Ronan says you're welcome. Awesome. Let's get the conversation going. Think about this. Who you are. If you say yes when you mean to say no, or when you say no when you mean to say yes. Okay, you're in a meeting, they want you to contribute, but you decide not to contribute even though you have something to say. Okay, you are an entrepreneur and you ought to be selling and developing skills and acquiring new customers and clients every day, but something is holding you back from voicing your thoughts, from voicing your intentions, for inviting people to participate in your business, on and on. I see Nowazi saying greetings, welcome. I believe you are joining from South Africa. Yes, we have a global community. Welcome, everyone. Invite more people. So there's an identity gap where at the soul identity level, who you really, really are, that nobody knows. Who you really, really are, that nobody knows. What you really, really want, that you've not told anybody. Your deep-rooted desires. Listen, you know it, I don't. I see it. Ilanit Appelfield says, hello from Israel. Welcome. Listen, bring more people in. Welcome. I appreciate that. So what we're talking about today is the heart and discipline of leveling up. I shared at the beginning that what your next dimensions of productivity looks like, what you want, what your next level desire, what you're hungry for, what you're pursuing is distinct and unique to you. It's personal to you. And I'm saying what I'm going to share today is something that you can personalize. I want you to personalize it. Let's go deep. When what is at your heart level, your desires, your hopes, dreams, and aspirations, when it looks nothing like your external, that's a gap. Ronan says, I'm from Israel as well. So listen, people meeting each other. Ronan and Ilanit, both from Israel. You guys should hook up, join each other or connect somehow. Thank you. So this is why it's important for others to engage as well. You can form community. You can connect with other people, like-minded people as well. Okay? Feel free to do that. So when your heart says yes, but you find yourself saying no, or when your heart says no, and you find yourself saying yes, there's a gap. There's a gap between your intention, your authentic self, and your projected self. Say projected. What you are showing the world, projected. That gap is what you have to close for transformation to happen. Because the person that will get you all the success, okay, all the next level results you want, it's not just the projected self, is that your real authentic identity is the most original version of you, and you need to develop, strengthen that inner self. You need, with courage, confidence, skill, voice, intentionality, originality. When we talk about originality, the most creative side of us is that inner voice. The most creative, the most creative dynamic side of you is not the projected version, is your true, authentic self. And if you don't make room for it, if you don't give it space to shine, it's like the seed that has to break. What's inside the seed is what is most powerful. The shell, the outer shell, is a protective layer. Most people have put on a protective layer for you to adapt to nature, nurture, and culture. Every version is an adaptation, right? I've talked about programming. The traditional education system programmed you to be an employee. It doesn't mean your soul wants to be an employee. You see the distance? You're performing specific tasks. When you find yourself in places and doing things that is in conflict with what you now want at the soul level, what do you change? Many people will change jobs. You know, we wear better shoes, better clothes. We are changing externally. That's a change. It's temporary. Transformation is permanent. Inner transformation, once you become a butterfly, you're not going back to being a caterpillar anymore. So the next level can be can be additional. So I want to make sure I share this. Your next level might be minimal changes, dress for success, get a mentor, get a sponsor, somebody that advocates for you, a new client, a new customer. Good for you. That is minimal change. You can change in a minimal way and you start getting better results. You can fine tune, you can prune certain things, you can go for a class, you can go for, you can learn speaking skills, right? You can speak more, you can go for Toastmasters, you can practice speaking on, and suddenly you're getting better results. That is a minor change. That's not what I'm talking about today. If you actually want radical transformation, if you want to achieve in a year what it took somebody 20 years to become, it's inner work. It starts at the identity level. The stories you're identifying with today, you change it. That's the work we do at my school. You have to change those stories because certain stories may be tying you to limitations. Whenever you find yourself saying, I don't have this, so I can't get that. I don't have this, so I can't get that. Because I don't do this, then I can't get this. Those stories, you have to replace those stories with a champion, success, right? Unlimited, abundant mindset. Because one of the things I've also seen, and this is why I'm hosting this such a session, is that the moment you transition, those who want to transition from employee to start a business, you need this more. It's taking you 20 plus years to perfect the skill of performing as as an employee. You are showing up, right? You've taken on an identity, right? And a performance that suits a particular framework, the employee mindset, the employee skill set, the employee belief system, the employee identity. And it is solid, it is strong, it is written in your conscious and subconscious side. In fact, when you wake up in the morning, you show up. When your boss says this, you say yes. What, right? It has formed you in a certain way. When you now desire to level up into entrepreneurship, to own your own business, this is one of the biggest struggle people make. They want to just change outer layer. You just want to change title and say, I'm now an entrepreneur. And then the next day you show up without uprooting, right? Limitations that the previous identity has put on you. Everything, the shadow it has cast on you, the belief system, the programming. Guys, you have to go deeper. That's what we do at toyinumesiri.academy. So let me break a few things down. In between yourself, your authentic self that nobody can see, and the projected self, the ones you are putting out into the world, there is a filter. You are filtering things out. That filter, I call it nature, nurture, culture. because it's also different depending on who raised you, what culture you were raised in, right? Who you've decided to become because of adapting to the conditions around you. Realize that we were all born as little ones, okay? And so before you came into the world, you met people there, and the people told you, this is welcome to the world. This is how the world functions. This is how you speak. This is who you need to be, right? And so you follow their leadership. Go get a job, go to school. What do you want to study? Become a doctor, become a lawyer, become an engineer, become. You became, right? Through external guidance, external recommendations, external principles imposed on you, presented to you, adopted by you. But there's another journey when you want to break out, I say breaking out of that matrix, breaking out of a conditioning where you've satisfied everybody. You've satisfied the world, you've satisfied employers, you've satisfied government, you've satisfied family, you've satisfied everything. And yet there's still something inside you saying it isn't satisfied. Okay? You've lived a life satisfying everybody, but there's something in you saying, I'm not yet satisfied. That is what we're talking about today. Hi, Nico. Do you want to come up and engage? If you have any questions, please do ask, drop it, or comment. For those on LinkedIn audio as well, you can raise your hand if you would like to join the stage and share your thoughts. I'm sure elders will learn from what you think as well. This is a community that we're building. And this conversation, let me also know if it's relevant. Listen, I don't just want to talk to myself. At the school, we have programs, classes. Last week, I just released the emotional intelligence training program for entrepreneurs. The school system really tests on IQ, your ability to take in data, memorize, use it, function, put it out there, right? You get an A, right? They test you, they groom you, they nurture you in IQ. What we're talking about is deeper than IQ. We are thinking and emotional beings, humans. We are thinking and emotional beings. How you think and how you feel and your emotions, your energy, your thoughts mixed together help shape your life. Right? They do. They do. Your mindset, your emotional freedom, emotional liberty, emotional intelligence, both of those things help shape the outcomes of life. How you think, how you feel becomes who you are collectively, right? So those two things, in a way, I always say that mindset needs to be disciplined to support the desires of your heart, right? Mindset, in a way, it's programmed to generate specific results. And so when you don't like the results, your job is to say, I want better results. And then you train your mind to help you get those results. Okay, I've oversimplified a very complex topic. Okay, so when it comes to the heart of the matter, right? The heart and the heart of the matter, right? Is that what do you want? You need clarity. Many people don't have clarity. And I talk about clarity of intention, understanding where you're going, understanding where you are, also clearly understanding the gap in between and committing to doing what you need to do to close that gap. It could be a knowledge gap, it could be a skill gap. Okay, how are you going to close that gap? Because when people don't acknowledge that there's a gap, they will continue to attempt to do things they cannot do. Let me repeat that. When people don't have clarity and awareness that there's a gap between who you are today and who you need to be tomorrow, when people think they've already arrived and now they are attempting and still they're not getting results, they give up without awareness that all you need to do is to upgrade. That the next level dimension of you is going to be more equipped. You need to equip yourself to be able to do what you need to do to get the results you want. So when you find yourself that certain things are out of reach, when you feel that you know within yourself that you can do it, but you're finding that you cannot do it, it means that there's still a knowledge or a skill gap that you have to go out there to close that gap. Because when all of this work is complete, who you project to be needs to be equal to who you really are. So your yes is your yes, your no is your no. But when you find yourself saying yes when you mean no, and saying no when you mean yes, is that you haven't strengthened your inner voice, you haven't developed the confidence, you haven't developed, right, the courage it takes to show up fully as you are in this world. Because it takes courage to expose your intentions, to expose your heart, to show the world how you feel, how you think, what you want, what you desire, what your intentions are. It takes courage to do that. It takes courage to speak your mind. It takes courage to negotiate your value. It takes courage to sell. It takes courage to ask for a promotion. It takes courage to ask for more salary, more pay. It takes courage. And when you don't give yourself the voice, when you don't do that inner work, you continue to expect other people to just give you what you want. And when they don't give you what you want, many people will complain. This is what gives back to complaining, right? Those who have done this inner work will go ahead and just ask for what they want. And those who haven't done the work, they will want something, but they will not ask for it. And then they will complain that somebody is denying them from getting what they want. So, what does your next level look like? What do you need to do? Right? Who do you need to become? What do you need to do? What do you need to know? What skills are required to perform at that next level? This is where awareness kicks in. These are the questions we ought to be asking. It's like, if you want to eat spaghetti, well, what does it take? What are the ingredients? How long does it take? Do you have the recipe? Where do you go and buy all the materials, or do you have some at home? Who is going to cook it for you? One of the things I say is that the mind, when you feed it the recipe, the raw materials, it does the cooking. Your mind does the cooking. If you don't like the food it's serving you today, feed it something new. If you don't like the food it's dishing out to you, feed it something new. Program it differently. Okay? Garbage in, garbage out. It's a processing machine. The human mind, remember, we all came to this world blank slate. The mind has been programmed. Think this way, talk this way, show up this way. Think this way, talk this way, show up this way. You follow that guideline. The day you want to disrupt and become a different person, when you want to pursue your inner dreams, your hopes, aspirations, the most creative side of you is your true, authentic self, is not what you are masking or presenting to the world. So it's always trying to show up. Your true, authentic self is trying to bust on the scene. It's trying to take charge. It's trying to lead you. Because the program version of you led you here. The true, most authentic version of you is listen, I want to take over. Let me drive for a while. Let me drive this car. Your soul is saying, we want to drive, we want to live, we want to speak, we want to be free. Freedom of self-expression is something your soul is crying for. But if you haven't invested in that version of you, and you've been investing in the projected version of you, looking good, smelling good, but yet knowledge, capacity, skill, confidence, belief system, you've not worked on any of those things, nobody can see. You sit with yourself and you go, I want this, but I can't have this. I want, right? That mind will be telling you can't have, because truly, truly, it's trying to signify that we've not done the work. You've not done the work. So when people talk about imposter syndrome or imposter syndrome, right? Part of imposter syndrome, I just tell people, is that imagine if you're a tourist in a new city. You go to France. You are visiting in France for the first time ever. And you're telling me you're not going to ask for directions. Your mind has not mapped that city. Your mind does not know how to lead you in a city you are not familiar with. Your mind is missing data and information on how to go from point A to point B. That is imposter syndrome for you. Anytime you feel displaced, it's because the mind is challenging you. We need more data, we need more information for me to lead you and help you navigate this place in an easy, awesome way. Please ask questions. Because the same thing that gave you imposter syndrome, in about a year, all of those things goes away. Familiarity, right? When you master a skill, when you master a new domain, when you go into a new workplace, when you step into a new space, give your mind time to acclimatize, to get used to that space, to develop skills to navigate that space very well. And all of those nervousness will go away. Every time you feel imposter syndrome, all you need to do is start asking questions. Your mind is just saying, I've never been here before. Because truly, the city you're coming from, you're a master of it. You know where the groceries is, you know where the best meat is, you know where the shopping district is, you know how to navigate. Fantastic. But trust me, you come into a new domain and you don't respect that domain, which is what is happening. People just think they can barge into a new company, they can go into a new title, they can go into a new space without training their mind to function in that new space. No, your mind will call you out. When people apply, and this is lack of experience and skill, you change when you level up several times, you start humbling. It gives you humility. Becoming a student of life is the best way to navigate life. But when you think you've mastered what you've not mastered, your soul will call you out. We've never been here before. Yes, you were the best thing since sliced bread where you're coming from, but you go into Paris, you go into France, and people that live in France, they know the city better than you. They know it better than us. They know where the meat market is. They know what you ought to be avoiding. They know where the booby trap is. They know where the danger is. They know this district and street you must not go at night. And when people refuse to listen, learn, ask questions, you are likely to make mistakes. This is when we talk about fail fast, fail fast. I say learn fast. Why do you want to fail fast when you can learn fast? Failure is listen, imagine if someone is telling you, jump into the ocean and figure out how to swim. You figure it out. Swimming is easy. And you also do the same. You drown. You expose yourself to risks that are so unnecessary. I see this every day. Fail fast. I don't believe that. I say learn fast. Become a student of life. Tread cautiously. Ask question. Learn. Read. Right? When I talk about my academy, that's the discipline of leveling up. The day you want to level up, you have to discipline yourself to learn. And those who don't learn will learn by failure. If you don't learn by learning, you learn by failing. Because suddenly you be like the children when you tell a child, you say, don't touch the fire. The child says, what's my mommy saying? Hey, touch it. When you get burnt, you now learn not to touch it again. That's what's happening. But that's a lengthy, reckless way of learning. Yes, now your finger is burnt. Now there's bandage. Now you have a story to tell. Now you will cry. Now you're in pain. Now you're whining. And mommy will say, I told you. This thing is still happening even in adulthood. These are the things we need to be telling our children. If you have children that are teenagers, call them. Learn. Be a student of life. Ask questions. Humble yourself. The people who are wisest in the world, they are the people who know how to ask the right question. Listen, when you go to Google, you ask questions. You go to ChatGPT, you ask questions. The quality of the questions you know how to ask will determine the quality of results you get. So if you decide not to ask questions, you just be knocking your head on the wall, be trying things, right? Instead of feeding your mind with knowledge, you'll be knocking your head, right? Stress. Guys, there's a discipline to leveling up. If you don't ask questions, then you are going, what am I? You are knocking, you are beating yourself. And this is another negative self-talk. Many people want to motivate themselves to next level results by beating themselves down. Why didn't you do this? You know better. Negative self-talk will not get you much results. It won't. And many people do this quietly, right? You do it, nobody's seeing all of these things. But inside of you, the voice in your head is beating you down. Shame, guilt, all these tactics. You know what happens? The donkey that's supposed to help you go will just sit down and do nothing. Procrastinate. To just keep procrastinating because you are beating me, right? You think you can beat your donkey to the next level. It doesn't work that way. Like in the program, the emotional intelligence, I talk about self leadership. Get clear on the type of motivation your soul needs. Because if you want to put your soul to work, okay, there's an assignment at hand. You have to discipline because the human body always goes for pleasure. The physical senses, the five senses, right? Taste, touch, sight, sound, hearing, and smelling. This is how you experience the world. It always seeks out pleasure, right? The physical senses, your human mind, the natural state of the human mind, the condition is to do nothing, to enjoy everything, to be left alone, to scroll, to be pleasured, good food, good music, good life. We like nice things, movies, music. The human mind loves pleasure. But for you to level up, right, you have to discipline that mind to do work, and you also have to find the reward that it needs. How you're going to go on this journey where you discipline yourself, you work hard, and you reward yourself. You work hard, you reward yourself. Because if all you're doing is subjecting yourself to pain, eventually it will say, I'm done. So when you don't have the self-leadership to know thyself, self-discovery, self-mastery will help you level up. But if you don't know yourself and you are using the wrong voice to try and beat yourself, to motivate yourself, trust me, it will procrastinate because the body doesn't like negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is kind of like poison, toxic. That voice is toxic. It doesn't mobilize anybody. Never mind. You may have been, it might have been a familiar voice. Remember the programming. Maybe parents, society use negative self-talk to beat you into submission, into programming. Go to school. What do you think you are? Da, 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 da. Maybe you think that voice, that fear factor, they put fear in you. If you don't do this, you won't get that. If you don't go to school, you won't do this. If you don't get a job, then you don't do this. If you don't do this, right? That language, right? It's a part of programming. Fear, 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 fear. If you don't do this, you don't pay your bill. It puts you into survival mode, right? That voice puts people into survival mode. But what we are talking about today, the work that we do at Toyin Umesiri Academy, the Entrepreneurs Academy, we have to go from survival. We have to make our full-time job. How do I thrive? How do I live in peace? How do I develop skills? Right? How do I make money? How do I discipline myself? How do I brand? How do I market? How do I pursue? How do I adopt a new mindset and a heart posture that is more inclined to exactly who I want to be, that would make me proud, that will make me feel successful? It's a different energy. The energy that programs you into survival. That's all of that. It has its weapons, it has its sound, it has its limitation. There's a feeling, there's a smell, there's a way to it. If you don't abandon that and create a new world That's what I talk about transformation. Survival versus, excuse me, versus thriving. Excuse me, let me take a sip of water. Let me also read Nowazi says, my aim is to master storytelling and business writing. Hmm. I love this because when people kind of put this out there, let me share this with you. For you to actually master at the depth of you, for you to be a fantastic storyteller and to write, you have to go beneath the surface, because writing is about H to H, human to human, right? Translating like what's in your heart, trying to get it into somebody's heart, because communication is the vehicle of transferring thoughts and emotion to other people, because I'm a writer too. Okay, communication, written and spoken words, okay, is a vehicle for transforming thoughts, ideas, and emotion. So if you are not deeply connected with the most authentic, thoughts, your own emotions, your writing will not be as effective as it ought to be. So the more, in fact, the more you write, the more you speak, the more you will start getting to a new depth and richness of self-expression, because writing is self-expression. So are you trying to write what you think people want to hear, or are you going to be writing what you believe they need to read? Those two things are different, because it's back to authenticity, your true original self. How do you really speak in the most in the most authentic voice, versus the masking, what you think people, how you think people want you to speak, how culture says you ought to be speaking, whether as a woman, right? These things are true. When you first start writing, you are likely to be writing to meet the image that people expect, what people expect of you. This is what they expect to read. This is what they want to read. This is what they, right? They. If you orient your writing towards they, then you are likely to be a technical writer writing for other people's thoughts, opinions. But there's another powerful way of writing, and the best writers in the world, they write from a place that is authentic to their own soul, what their own soul wants to say, what their own soul feels and is experiencing. They use writing as a channel of presenting their own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. They present it to the world. That's what I'm doing right now, right? I'm not feeding you what I think you want to hear. I am sharing what I believe. I believe in what I'm sharing and teaching today. Okay, I believe that this is a secret for success for somebody. That if you discipline yourself and you find your peace and you focus on doing the inner work, you will go further, higher than if you are just, right, changing externally. New shoe, new handbag, new job, new this, new house, new city. Those changes, while temporarily they will give you, retail therapy is real. You can mask, you can go shop, spend thousands of dollars, feel good temporarily. In a week's time, you're back to where you are today. Many people are investing in that world. But what I'm saying is, I believe at the soul level, if you gift your heart, okay, everything it's wanting, if you build confidence, if you remove all the negative self-talk, if you do this work, and you set yourself free, self-expression, self-leadership, self-awareness, all of this thing I cover in my class, right? You will empower yourself for success. You become more powerful. You can now influence people. You can lead yourself. You can lead other people. And that will translate to next level, higher dimensions of you. That's what I believe. And that's what I'm teaching. And that's what I'm sharing. And that's what I'm writing. And that's what I'm pushing out into the world. Because at my soul level, it's an assignment. And I'm here to dish it out and share it and challenge people to go deeper. If you want to go higher, you go deeper. If you want to build a skyscraper, your foundation must be secured. Somebody else that wants to only build a one-story building will build only this much foundation. Before you know it, they've moved in. Before you know it, they're throwing a party. But you, if God has higher for you, right? You have to go deeper and strengthen your inner core, your identity, and give it courage to speak, to say what it means and mean what it say. Give it voice. If I ask you, who are you? What are you going to tell me? Are you going to tell me the mask, the projection, the adaptation? Or are you intimately clear at the soul level, your identity? This is when I say, listen, at the soul level, if you haven't done, when we talk about personal development, many people may not translate to understand that while the education system develops your IQ, it doesn't develop your person. Let me say that again. The school system develops IQ, your ability to read, memorize, comprehend, make function in a certain way that is intellectual. But it doesn't develop your character, your confidence, right? On and on. It doesn't develop your emotion. It doesn't even teach you how to discipline yourself. It doesn't teach you time management. It doesn't teach you at the soul level the courage to speak your truth. It programs you to function at a certain technical level. But in order for you to be successful, the most creative side of us is at the soul. If you don't develop, that's why we say personal develop. If you don't develop your person, you keep on surviving. Because the version of you can only keep surviving, can only keep hanging on to that world that was gifted to you by the projected version of you, right? The job, this, you are holding on tight to that reality. But when you develop your person, your heart, your soul, your mind, you become unmovable, unstoppable. Now you can show up because you become an advocate for your own right life. Okay? You need this mouth. This mouth needs to speak, right, on behalf of your soul. That is what it was gifted for. Your soul owns you. Your soul owns your mind and your heart. But trust me, you have outsourced yourself to the world. If you've not done this work, by the way, is that somebody else is using your mouth, somebody else is using your mind, right? Because this thing is so real. Sometimes when people speak, you can tell that social media programmed them, news media programmed them, the world system programmed them, because they will just be repeating everything they picked up on Fox News, MSN, CNBC, what they read on the newspaper. Oh, this, the president is this, the president is that, the government is this, oh, Iraq is this. They are just repeating the programming of the world systems. Right? You just be, you just keep, because that is what you exposed your mind to. You gave your mind to the systems, they programmed you. Now your life is like, yes, you go, when the news goes up, you go up. When the news goes down, you go down. When this goes right, your emotions is now being led by that same system. But there's another system, right, that will lead you to success, to your next level. And it's not going to be those external systems. You don't see social media, right? Anybody telling you will help you achieve success. It's a gift you give to yourself. If you don't use your energy, time, resources to power your own life, right? If you don't have intentionality, if you don't focus, if you don't do this work for you, nobody's coming to tell you to do it for yourself. Because truly, who cares whether you do it or not? Right? It's who really, no, really. Okay, many people are not used to. I speak as I write. If you've ever read any of my work, my books, if you've taken my classes, right, the truth will set us free. As a Christian, right, the day you can hold on to the truth, the day you can embrace the truth, the day you can welcome the truth into your heart, the mask, the limit, all those things will fade off, right? All those things you believe, you will see them as they really are, right? Because at the identity level, if you're identifying with certain stories of limitation, they are holding you back because the next level requires you to replace those stories. It does. And to develop new skills so that you can go out there and achieve unlimited success. So I'll stop there. Any thoughts, questions? I see Benewa. Um, and by the way, what you put in, what you invest is what you get out of life. Even in conversations, one of the things of networking, and I've seen this before, if you go into a room and you decide not to talk, you decide not to ask questions, you get barest minimum. Remember, if you go to Google, you go to ChatGPT and you don't ask questions, it doesn't mean they cannot help you. It's also part of leveling up. One of the skills is you will have questions of people who have answers. You will learn how to ask questions of people who have answers. And when you don't ask questions, right, like if you don't, ChatGPT is ChatGPT, it doesn't change who they are. Google is right. But if you go and you don't learn how to ask questions and probe life and solve the puzzles of life, your own life, not mine, yours. I'm doing mine. I'm technically like, let's say ChatGPT. Leveling up makes us a student. When you become a student of life, then you can start harvesting solutions. You can start learning. You can start implementing. You can start becoming. And so when people close their mind and say, you know what, I'm done, enough, then nothing happens, nothing changes. If you don't change, nothing changes. So the heart and discipline of leveling up, it does start with self-awareness, of understanding, right? Is it incremental changes that I'm pursuing? Because there's slow change of a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. My own programs are more transformational, right? And even the first week in my school, the game plan 12 strategies for winning in life and business, plus your life strategy workbook. That first week, you change. Not just externally, you adopt a new way of being. It will shift you. Because when I start saying adopt the mindset of a champion, you have to replace defeated mindset. A mindset that says you cannot do this, you cannot do that. It's a deep, listen to the voices, give it name. There's a defeated mindset. A mindset that says because I'm here, I cannot do this. Because I'm this, I cannot do that. You've defeated yourself even before showing to the game of life. Imagine if there's a soccer game and the entire team already believes that they've lost. It's just a matter of time. They'll just manifest that loss in reality. That loss. It's what you believe, you become. This is how it works. You believe you don't have, then you don't have. You believe you cannot win, then you don't win. You believe you cannot become, then you don't become. You believe it's not yours, right? On and on. You did that to yourself. Look at the world out there. Other people that do not agree with you, they're going out there and they're winning. So that first program tackles belief to the core. It shapes you, it changes you. The workbook, you have to go deeper into time management, project management. Listen, communication, these are core fundamental skills for success. You have to develop new skills for success. And those skills, most of those skills, nobody ever taught you in high school, in college. Even some of it, depending on the level of success you achieved in corporate. If you haven't gotten to the VP type level, management level, you probably haven't developed leadership skills to the height, because every of these skills has levels. Okay, I see. Benewa says, what are the best ways to recognize the aspects of you that need leveling up? Okay, let me repeat that for others, right? What are the best ways to recognize the aspects of you that need leveling up? This is a fantastic question. Absolutely brilliant question. What I would say is grab a pen and paper and start writing your thoughts down. That's the first thing. You need to see your thoughts. You need to, there are many things inside of you, subconsciously, consciously, that if you want to disrupt and, they say learn, unlearn, relearn, all of those things, you cannot do it without dumping it out. If you want to clean up your bag, if you're a lady, especially a mom, you've put all kinds of junk stuff into the cleaning day. The day you want to clean your house, clean your closet, you want to clean stuff. Dump it all out first. Dump it out. Do you understand? Benewa, I like your question a lot. Right? Learn how to dump out your thoughts. Come up to the stage. Let's engage. Your question is so brilliant because it's making me want to stay a little bit and cover it, because this will change somebody's life. Hi, Benewa. How are you?
Hello, I'm well. Thank you for inviting me up.
Your question is so deep and so rich and so juicy. I'm going to spend time going deeper into it. It's so fantastic. I love that question. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
So, the first thing is, we really don't know where the virus is. What is stopping us from moving forward? That's the first thing. I'm telling you, awareness is that sometimes you don't really know where it came from, because most of the fight is a fight of thoughts and words and ideas that you've attached yourself to, or has attached itself to you. Limited beliefs, imposter syndrome, all kinds of stuff, and they came from somewhere. So the first thing is learning how to speak and write by yourself. You can do this by yourself or with a coach, because when my clients come, when I ask them a question, based on the answer they give me, I can immediately tell, oh, why do you believe that? Why do you believe that? Where did that come from? Because what happens is we've come to believe certain things that we think is true. They become true in your life, but they are a lie. When people start, guys, do we want to go there? When you start believing a lie, you start living a lie. This is deep, right? I want us to just, okay. I can feel the conversation has shifted for sure. I can feel that. If you believe a lie, you live a lie, and you see a lie. I say it's like the lion who is acting like a cat. Who told you you're a cat? Okay. Who told you that you don't have power? Who told you you don't have a voice? Who told you you cannot become? Who told you you cannot be successful? Who told you that success is not yours? Who told you you cannot build $1 million business? Who told you? Who put that limitation on you? Where did it come from? So the first way is to really interrogate our hearts and mind. Because I've said this, that the mind that is untamed and undisciplined will abort the desires, hopes, and dreams of your heart. The mind is supposed to be helping us fulfill our dreams, right? We're supposed to be training our mind, disciplining ourselves to become who we ought to become. And so when certain thoughts has attached itself to us, they start manifesting in limitation. And so when we want to go to the next level, part of going to the next level is not to just to be reaching higher. Part of it is cutting off everything that is holding you to the ground. Right? Part of it is actually cutting off, right? Thoughts, opinions, ideas, relationship, things that want you to remain in your past. So as you are reaching higher, you have to put a distance between thoughts, opinions, and ideas. And one simple way is to grab a pen and a paper and start putting your thoughts on paper. Because so this is kind of self-leadership, but a coach can also help you, but by yourself, right? That inner voice, write it down and start asking, why do I believe this? Where did this come from? So let me stop there and just get your reaction to my response there. Thank you. That question is, I love it. Anyway, I love it.
Thank you. Yes, I think that was an excellent answer. I think sometimes we have so many subconscious thoughts, and we're behaving in ways where we don't even recognize where the behavior is coming from because it's become so routine. So I think that the importance of just self-reflecting is one of the points for change. So I love that answer.
In fact, what you just said too, I love it because this we need to understand. Part of emotional intelligence is understanding my makeup, your makeup, how I function, how we are built. And how we are built is quite fascinating. And by the way, people get PhD, human behavioral scientists, psychologists, they study this, they study this. At a minimum, we can study it just so we can function better and we can become more successful. And so the way it tends to work is your mind, thoughts, your mind is how you experience the world through the five senses. We are thinking and emotional beings, but we are also spiritual and physical beings all at the same time. The four dimensions. Okay. That's why I've just taken a pause because this conversation, I'll go deeper because when people want to go deeper, listen, we go deeper to go higher. Okay. So as a being, as human, we all share these traits. And sciences prove it, not just my faith. I'm a Christian. Science proves this. You are an energy being. Energy, right? Is that emotion is, they say it's the energy, the movement of energy within you. But I want to add on this thing. It's energy and thoughts attached together. That's what forms emotion because there is data, there's information that polarizes energy positively or negatively. That's why we say negative energy, positive energy. What makes the difference is the information that is attached to that energy. And that stuff is flowing within your being and it becomes a feeling because your brain produces hormones. Your mind is an information, capital center that triggers the production of hormones in your body. Certain thoughts will produce certain feelings. If you are hungry, fight, flight, freeze. What triggers it? A thought of fear triggers you are in danger. Your brain produces certain hormones. You are ready to fight. You are ready to freeze. You are ready, right? What started that process? It's a thought. Image. It started that process. So the human mind is an entry point into your life. And the tendency is on the physical dimension, your five senses. You smell something funky. You're going to avoid it. You see something fishy. You're like, don't go there. You hear a sound, when you're watching movie, dun, 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 you're like, whoa, something is about to happen. Right? You feel a sensation. It's cold outside. You respond to it. So the human senses, to experience the physical realm, you need those five senses. And those five senses take data from outside and it goes straight into your mind, and your mind seeks to comprehend, interpret, right? what he just experienced. What happens is that if you're a child, a small child, you are innocent. When we talk about innocence, you don't have enough experiences to be attaching certain belief system to those experiences. I'm going deep. I'm going deep. Please hold on to this. This will solve a lot of things for some people. The more experiences you have, though, the more experiences you have, your subconscious has made up its mind that when this happens, this is the meaning. When that happens, this is the meaning. When you hear this sound, this is what it means. When you feel this way, it's cold. When it is this, it's hot. When somebody says this person is angry. When somebody says that, this person is happy. When somebody, because the older we get, you've acquired more memory, more experiences. Your data bank is now, shaped. So when you now experience something new, the human mind would want to skip the interpretation process and it will want to jump to conclusion. The reason we want to jump to conclusion is because the longer you live here on earth, you think you now know everything. But wait a minute, the wise ones will pause themselves and will still check in, because that programming that is jumping to conclusion may be flawed. What people told you, that if you see a certain person coming from around the street, the person is about to attack you. Yes, it may be true in a dangerous city, but your body has been programmed to respond even in a safe city. So you now have to override those programming. So young people, children are innocent because they don't tend to attach negative meaning to experiences of life. They are more joyful. They don't sense danger that much. They are so innocent. They think everything is rosy, because that's actually the most authentic version of us as humans. The original plan of God is for us to be safe without danger, to be naive in a way, to be not naive, to be safe. Remember the garden, right? You eat the knowledge of good and evil. Now you are attaching negativity to life. We were supposed to be experiencing all good things, all nice things, all amazing things. But here we are. We now have to manage it, because we are now living in this society, in this reality, in this realm of experience. So you cannot be naive anymore. You cannot be, listen, how do you protect your hearts? Part of what has happened is that people have put on layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers simply to survive the condition of society, environment, family dynamics that were so devastating. They didn't protect you, so you now have to protect yourself. So what I have found is that many people are buried. You're buried beneath protective layers. And that protective layers was put on many times when people were younger, when you were defenseless, when you were voiceless, when you didn't have power, when you couldn't confront authority figure. Part of personal development is that at least now, whether you are 40, 50, 60, 70, at least now, can you do this work to unbury yourself? And that's why, the type of people I love spending time with. Every week I'm volunteering with in the elementary school, my kids' school here. Spend time with older people, 70, 80 above, and spend time with young people. You will learn new things from them, because you realize that the older people now get, they now say anything they want to say. You because they oh my gosh, do you know that? Have you noticed that? Listen, your grandma does not care what you think. She will say everything.
You have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. But we can all learn from them. We don't have to be 70 before we start practicing this thing. We don't have to be 100 before we start saying our mind. We don't have to be. What happens is between 7 and 70, we mask to survive, because we live in societies that may not want to accept, that you think may not accept you the way you are. But I'm telling you, you give that self to yourself, right? Give that gift to yourself, because the most authentic version of you is where your wealth and your success belongs. Your success is not loyal to whatever you are presenting to the world, because it doesn't, you cannot speak, right? Success is loyal to a voice that is authentic, right? When it comes to sales, marketing, all these things, is that the moment you open your mouth and you're in the world, we all know who is telling the truth or not. We all know who is authentic or not. We all know who is masking or not. That's why I say entrepreneurship will put so much pressure on you so that the inner you can come out, because the assignment actually belongs to you, the inner version of you, not the adapted version of you will crush under the pressure of entrepreneurship. When that pressure comes, when all the challenges come, the only person that can fight the Goliath is the David versus the Goliath. It's not the one masking and afraid and say, oh, this, that, this, that, what would they say? As long if you're still thinking about what would they say, what would this, you can't fight this fight. You can't fight, because there has to be a warrior version of you. And who is the fighter version of you? It's the deeper version of you, because most of us, we've been told, don't fight, keep peace, say yes, say this. So you are polite, you are kind, you are this, you are that. Chill. When you back against one, you need to negotiate. You need to become the mom, the mama bear. Your soul needs you to become the mama bear. Gentle, but listen, don't touch my cup. Don't touch my stuff. But many people were not raised that way. We were raised to comply, to be quiet, to help make peace, artificial peace, instead of fighting for your soul assignments. This stuff is deep. If anybody wants to get, I see two comments. Nawazi says, you articulated the basics of writing, clarity on how we are supposed to connect our expression by drawing into the soul. Yes. And there's a cultural dynamics, because I work a lot with multicultural entrepreneurs. There's a lot of things we have to do within the culture. I won't put too much out there. I also see T. Nicole says the power of shifting your mindset goes hand in hand. When Tony also spoke on how you can't use your power if you can't communicate. Yes, is that the people who told you to be quiet, you know them. The people who told you to talk too much, you know them. Listen, they just stole your wealth. Because even biblically, right? Life and death are in where? The power of the tongue. Right? Expression, freedom of expression is not man-made, it's God-given. God spoke. You have to speak. Everything you want, your mouth will deliver for you. And so if you find yourself, you don't speak, you can't speak, you've not done this work. You've not done this work. I keep saying, Toyin Umesiri Academy. Join my academy. Listen, you need to do this work. If you are going to be wealthy, if you are going to be a wealth builder, the ideas that God gave you, you have to deliver it to the world. And the way humans communicate, right? Listen, if you're going to lead, if God has called you to lead, if God has called you to create wealth, if God has called you to impact lives, right? You will need this skill of communication. Because this is the only way we transfer thoughts, opinions, ideas, emotion. This is how we serve one another. This is one way we serve one another. Like I'm serving you right now. I'm serving you. I'm encouraging you right now. And I'm saying go and encourage the people you are called to serve. The people whose lives depend on you showing up. You're going to need to see them, know them, understand them, talk to them, encourage them. You need your voice. You must give your voice, right? Power. You must use it. And if you come from a place where they've told you this, please, guys, again, this is where we take our power back. Take your power back. The last time anybody told you this, because identity has been shaped. You've identified with a story that says you cannot speak, you should not speak, you're not supposed to speak. It's a story that is a lie. You now have to abandon that story and take up a new one. A new one that says you have to express yourself, you have to influence people, you have to lead people. Communication is the skill of a leader. Okay. This is okay. Any other? Okay, let me see. There's another. Miss Rena is in the house. She said, "This is such an important conversation." Yes, 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 yes. Come up. Listen, the reason I started having this conversation publicly, like privately, when I'm working with my clients and my students, they already know we go here, we go deep to go high. One of my clients, I remember years ago, she again, who you project to be versus who you are. You can be a lion, lioness, and because of survival or adaptation, you can be presenting, oh, I'm a cat, I do no harm, oh no, 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 because you have adapted, because the energy of others silences you, minimizes you, and so you adapted yourself to fulfill their expectation of you. This thing starts at a very young age. Yeah. Authority figures in your life cornered you, and so you allowed yourself to be cornered, and now you forgot to come out of that corner. They cornered you. They pushed. Listen, this thing is, it doesn't have to be physical, it's energetic. Other people use their own energy to edge you out of life. When I work with, I do a lot of international trade, I host world leaders, we talk about trade and Africa and all those things, right? If people manufacture a story about what they think your identity ought to be, and you make the bloody mistake of believing them and wearing the coat they gave you, guys, you did that to yourself. They told you you are this, they told you you are that, they told you you are this, and you made a mistake, horrible mistake of believing them. You've been eliminated from the competition of life. You are not relevant, in the sense of, when there is competition in commerce, in wealth creation, in success, in elevation, when people are achieving success, becoming this, that, they are giving themselves the best in life, and you are not giving yourself, because you believe them, that is not, you are not part of that race. I'm telling you, the fact that you're here on earth means all things are yours. The only permission you need to be in this world is God's permission, and He has given you. And He said, "Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, conquer." If you haven't conquered your own territory, if you haven't taken your own position, if you haven't marked your own stake, some people are marking moon. They are going to the moon. They are saying we own the moon. Some people are discovering mountain. This is not funny, guys. This is my sinister laugh. Some people are conquering the ends of the earth, claiming territories for themselves, for their children, for their grandkids, taking jewels and all things and making it their own, things that are not there. All I am saying, at a minimum, what is yours, claim it now. I'm not saying go and claim what is not yours. I'm saying what is yours. Your heart, your soul, your desires. Claim it first, and then go out there and make and win more ground. Negarum says communication is the skill of a leader. Yes, it's a skill of a leader. Facts. Deep. Use all scriptures. This is divine. Go all in. Okay, good. Hi, Renee. Good to see you. How was your weekend?
It was great. I have spent some time with family, and that feels really good. And now I'm back to business.
Awesome. Happy Monday. Go ahead, please.
Well, the thing that occurs to me as you're speaking is, and I wrote this, but the idea of, do you think that business leaders know what you're talking about, or do they realize it after they've been in business for a while? This kind of connection to the soul, or how um, how the soul has this calling, and that they use business as the mechanism to fulfill that calling. Do you think that people in business come to that? And secondarily, do you think that that's the missing piece for a lot of people not getting into business, that they have the idea
Mm.
separate in their mind?
Okay. So the way I'll answer it is every successful human became successful because of this principle, whether they know it subconsciously or subconsciously. In all forms, whether you're an artist, you're an actor, you're a musician, you're a business owner, the highest levels of success in sportsmanship, whether you run the Olympics, the highest dimension of human expression is at the soul level. You don't fake it to any of those heights. So that's the first thing. Anybody that's achieved the highest success level in their space, whether it's Tiger Woods, whether it's LeBron James, whether it's Beyonce, whether it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, anybody that achieved the highest levels of success in government, in business, in the arts, in the creative space, in any level, whether it's in sports, any of them, any of them, they all broke out of all these barriers I'm talking about. Because at that highest levels of expression, there's purity, pure purity of intentionality. We all know they want to win. They want to win at all costs. They are willing to give it all it takes. They are willing to discipline themselves, and they are fighting at the highest levels. You fight to bust out on the scene at that highest level. You don't stroll into it. You don't, you know, nobody at the highest levels of business, whether you're Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, any of these guys, they they have been purified. The process purifies you so that when you arrive, the most authentic, original version of you is the person that arrives at the highest levels of success. And trust me, there's a lot of pain, letting go, breaking, like there's a lot of internal fights you have to fight for you to show up and say you win the Olympics. One of the fights is discipline. If you cannot discipline, because the human mind always wants pleasure. Oh, a little here, a little there. Those who want success will have to abandon some form of pleasure in pursuit of success. Right? So what happens is the only way, guys, that you can ever abandon pleasure and put yourself and subject yourself through pain to pursue is that you are on assignment for your soul. You want it so bad, it's so crazy. Like you want success so bad. This is why we talk about passion and this. It's the era, it's the you remember IQ. IQ will tell you this doesn't make sense. IQ would always tell you, will always formulate how to remain in survival mode. I'm telling you, the highest version of you is 100% risk. If you cannot take risk, you cannot get to that level. Why are you climbing Mount Everest? Why are you trying to be LeBron James? Why are you trying to be Tiger Woods? Why are you trying to? The mind will tell you to settle somewhere at the bottom because that's where there's less pain, less risk, less challenges, right? At the bottom, survival. Maslow's hierarchy of need. You want to self-actualize. What version of you is going to show up at the top? Is the most authentic, original version of you. So, to your question, in business, there are people in the middle, there are people at the base, but I'm telling you, the people at the top, right, in this world, there are certain things you have to let go of. They cannot be living the life, oh, scrolling on social media, a little here, a little there. Listen, the day you say you want to win Olympics, you're going to invest. You're going to so discipline yourself. And the question is why? Why do you want to win the Olympics? Why do you want to build a business? Why do you want to subject yourself to such crazy lifestyle, painful, right? If it is not on an assignment for at the soul level, at the DNA level. You do this for you, not for the world. So anybody that is still trying to mask and do this, oh, they said you've not taken on the courage to give your soul what it wants. And so many people can be at the beginning stages, but I just told you those at the top. And so whether you like it or not, to be the best actor, to be the best musician, to be the best athlete, to be the best business entrepreneur, there's something crazy about the journey you're going to be on. You cannot explain it to anybody. You just want what you want. And I'm telling you, that desire is internally fueled, it's not externally driven at all. It's not, it cannot be. It's an hunger that is burning within you. That's the one you're trying to fuel. That's the one you're feeding. That's the one who gives. And this is where fulfillment, joy, happiness. Now, there are many people. The easiest thing to do actually is to make money, technically. You don't have to be the best to make money. So let me break it down, because some people say, oh, some people arrive there and they lose their soul. I'm trying to say yes, because their intention was not pure. If your intention,
actually, that Toyin, I'm so glad that you bring that up, because that was kind of where I was curious about going, because I think we have really good examples of people who have made it to the top of whatever they're, especially in business, made it to the top and
Renee,
devastating, disastrous things.
Renee, let's be careful what we are saying, making it to the top. Making it to the top, making money, just money in of itself, is not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, this is great.
It's not what I'm talking about. You can make money doing shady things. That's not what I'm talking about. There's a version of success, because I've said it. Many people who are looking at this world through physical realm would only judge people based on money. That's not what I'm talking about. There's a certain level of success that you like. If that is what you're admiring, oh, I want to make money, oh, I want to make money, ooh, that's not me. That's that what Let me rephrase that. Yes, we are making money, we'll make money, we'll continue to make money. However, I wrote this in my book, Mindset of an Entrepreneur: Strategy, Skills, and Mindset for Achieving Business Growth and Success. Money is the reward for the impact you're going to make in the world on other people. Your contribution, the way economics work, okay? Economics, when we talk about value delivery, value management, it's not you as a person, is that how you've developed yourself so that your skills, thoughts, opinions, your contributions to society is found valuable by other people, right? And you can increase and improve your value in the marketplace. The value of your work, the value of your thoughts, the value of your skills, the value of your everything. You 100% have the capacity, if you want, to continue to improve your value. And that is one of the things that is also measured by levels of success. Is one of those things measured by success, financial success, right? But wealth is another realm that is bigger than just money. There's wealth in relationship. There's all kinds of wealth, whether it's at the family level, your kids level, your community level, your impact level. Financial is one dimension. I always talk about the three ladders of success. There's influence, there's power, there's wealth. There's influence, there's power, there's wealth. And there are relationship between that. You can get influence and use influence to make money. Like Oprah, right? Oprah used, right, her influence, media influence, translated it, converted it to money, right? And Schwarzenegger used his influence in the media as an actor, he converted it into political power. Very few people climb the three. Donald Trump is the one person that has done all three. Apprentice show gave him media influence, right? Trump, his enterprise gave him wealth, financial wealth, and then he also pursued political power. So he climbed those three pyramids of success: political power, right? Financial wealth and media influence. Not everybody, people do one, two, but Donald Trump is one of those very few people that I've seen that did all three. Arnold Schwarzenegger did at least two. Now, we don't think of Arnold Schwarzenegger through the lens of his financial wealth, but definitely I'm sure he's going to be a money maker. He was the governor, political wealth. He was an actor, right? Influence, and Terminator. We think of him in terms of his movies as well, even to today. And I'm sure he also translated it into financial power. So maybe those two people, Trump and Arnold, right? They climbed those three ladders of success. Many people will climb one and stay on one, but these guys, they made money, they got fame, and then they also got political power. But when you think about Arnold, got political power through the lens of governorship, but Trump's power, listen, president of the United States of America, that is, you can't, they're not the same thing. But I'm just using, so I just had to give you that backdrop. That backdrop is, what do you want? Which one do you want? And then how do you get it? And the purest way to get it is with alignment at the soul level. But there are many people who will do different things and still get it, and they're going to wreck themselves, wreck the world eventually. And this is why a lot of those stories come out, right? People who made money, this, now they are this, but they made up this. Is that when you keep pursuing success out of alignment from your soul, you are likely to damage something, you or the world. The most authentic version of you, however, will never lead you astray. It will never listen. If you stay connected to your soul, if you are on assignment with deep meaning, if you are here to impact the world, and what I have seen, somebody that practices that, like him or not, is Bill Gates. You tend to see Bill Gates is a heart connected person. Now, you may not, nobody knows him, understands him. There are all kinds of stuff out there. Another person that practices, you think of, like, there are few people that you will know that their hearts, they allow their heart and their mind to shift them, and then they will disrupt their world in pursuit of self-expression, what their heart is telling them they need to be pursuing. You see them, they will leave this position, go out there, they will do this, do this. And when you think about Jeff Bezos as well, Blue Origin, you look at it, when he was a child, he was in love with space and all of those things. Those are art-centered things. It's like, if you go back to when you were 7, who did you want to become? What did you want to do? What did you want to conquer? Those type of dreams. Part of this journey is, as an adult, can you give your inner child what it wanted? Everything you wanted to become when you were a child, would you take risks on behalf to become that? I don't know. Or would you be so much in a survival mode that you say it's not worth it? So I just wanted to give that backdrop. So when I talk about these things, because even in the world of business, when I'm teaching entrepreneurs at Toyin Umesiri Academy, I already know this, and I don't want people to. I tell people, if safety and money you're looking, keep your job. You will never find me telling somebody to leave their job. No, but I'm saying, if there's something in your heart at the identity level that is telling you you can serve the world through commerce and business solution delivery, then become a student, become my student. Let's teach you how to do it in an art-centered way. We're going to go deeper so that this empire you want to build is built on not shaky grounds, but a solid identity that is rooted in belief, confidence, audacity, clarity. And then you develop the skills, the technical business skills, sales skills, mindset skills, right? Marketing skills, right? Branding skills that will help you support branding, not what people think you need to be, but what your soul is saying. Listen, we are here to do this assignment. So that's what I do differently. Go ahead, Renee.
No, I'm just kind of overwhelmed with this information. It is what I hear people clamoring for your message, and I haven't found a teacher, I haven't found a business person who teaches this the way that you do. And so it's speaking to my heart, but I don't think it's just my heart that it's speaking to. I think that there is a shift in society. I think people have been wanting to know that this is possible, and to not feel like their experiences of business is just about money. And I don't know where I came across the idea of business as a spiritual experience or business as a spiritual practice, but that's what I hear you talking about today. And I think this is what the soul of people is clamoring for, to feel like they could be part of the business realm, and that it wouldn't steal their soul, in fact enhance it.
Okay. I think we've overcomplicated the world of business and entrepreneurship. I think that's why. Okay, I see if say thanks for inviting me to talk. Just busy. Okay, but loving your message, very powerful. And you're talking to my insecurities and fears. Oh, I admire you a lot, and one day I want to get there too. You're there, you're there, you're there. Let me tell you, you're there. Spiritually, you're there. Sometimes we just have to do the other work. When you receive the spiritual side of this is when you particularly those who are Christians, right? It's in a moment you receive. When you receive at the spiritual level. The gap is that we need to work to now manifest. Is that you're already there. Listen, the day you were born, who you are supposed to be is encoded in you. It's like a fruit, right? An apple seed is an apple seed. It doesn't. A pear seed, listen, a mango seed is a mango seed. You're already you. But what happens is when you are buried under stories, when other people try to impose on you, and you are a mango seed, and they now they plug you into the function of an apple tree, and they're telling you you've mastered how to perform, right? Fake it till you make it. Isn't that what they tell you? That you should fake it till you make it. So you are already there spiritually, at the spiritual form, at the soul level. You are who you ought to be. What usually happens is when you are not nurtured, when that side of you, imagine if Beyonce, a natural singing talent, was not invested in by her parents. Imagine if the Williams sisters, their dad didn't take it up to nurture them as young girls, and we stuck them into the Western education system. They will be an engineer, lawyer at best today. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. But, right, the most natural gifts that you have, everybody's got some. Every single person's got some. The mistake we make collectively as a society is that we've designed the education system not to nurture the most original side of us. But that assembly line, listen, everybody goes through. When you're 3, be here, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. We have this assembly line, cookie cutter. Everybody in the same class. Everybody studying the same thing. Everybody, right? Everybody goes through that process. For the first 20 years, you come out of that system, you are no longer recognizable because now you've been programmed to say, I need a job. I need a job. It's like a robot machine. Get me a job. Where's my CV? Nothing wrong with that. Hear me. Hear me. Nothing wrong with that. What is wrong is now, if you find within you something that has not been nurtured, that was left behind on that journey, is still crying for expression within you. What is now wrong is if you still numb yourself, you quiet it, you shut yourself. The world shuts you up. You too, you are shutting yourself up. That is the one that is double, triple whammy. Okay? And this is where we talk about the matrix, coming out of the matrix. And it could be as easy as just weekend, learning how to do something new, going on a retreat, joining a club, speaking. And because what usually happens is your contribution, your highest contribution to the society is always tied to your natural gifts and talent, something that brings you joy and brings value to the world. Now, when it comes to business, the reason I say that we are overcomplicating the world of business is that at the beginning of life, as long as humans continue to gather as one, you're going to need something. You are consumers by nature. You're going to need something for your lifestyle. Other people will need something for your lifestyle. Who are the people? Those who produce what humanity needs are the ones we reward financially. It's as simple as that. It's just, don't, let's not complicate business, this, oh, this. Just think of it as humans will continue to need salt, pepper, eat food, need clothing, need shelter. Remember the basic needs of man: food, clothing, shelter, plus extra stuff. We need it, you consume it. Who are the people that will get you what you are consuming every day? The cell phone in your hands. Isn't that why you are rewarding Apple and Google for their Android? This is the whole point of business, is about organizing people to be more productive in creating value for the world. And then guess what? The world has to reward you. Because if you are doing this value creation without being rewarded, then you're a charity. You're a charity. And those who are eating free food, they are eating charity. Somebody, anything that is man-made is the transfer of energy, conversion of energy. When energy goes into productivity, anything that is God given is free from God. But the moment you value add, right, is that when you use your energy, when you use your energy and you convert your energy, guys, there's science behind. When I talk about quantum leap in my show, when I use the phrase quantum leap, accelerate, all those things, is that at the creative level, at the creation layer, where people who study quantum physics and all of those things, you start knowing that physics, energy is never, it doesn't disappear, it just changes form. I hope you realize it. Let's make use of some of the things they taught us in that school. Right? Water can be steam, ice, right? It just changes form. It just evaporates. It changes form. Is that humanity, you're an energy being. When you use your energy, when your own energy mixes, remember physics, work. What is the equation for work? Force. What is the equation for force? Mass times, is it acceleration? Guys, go and pick your physics again. Go and pick physics again. Go back to those equations. They know it because you need it to be creative. Those who do space, aerodynamics, all those things, you go back to the fundamental equations of life. You are a force. When you increase your mass and build more momentum, your impacts in the world will be more. When you grow more knowledge, you increase your mass. Knowledge will expand your impact. Little knowledge, little force, little impact. More knowledge, you will expand. You become unstoppable. That's why I say my school, join my school. I'll keep saying it. Join my school, enroll today. You need it. The right knowledge will unleash your power. The wrong knowledge, it weighs people down. The worst case is depression. You've heard certain things that makes you hopeless, right? At some point, you stop believing that tomorrow is better than today. That stuff is deadly, right? It's deadly. Get help, seek help. But I'm telling you, another type of information will give you hope, will enlighten you, will strengthen you, will give you capacity. Which one are you investing in? Consciously. Because unconsciously, you are scrolling and investing, you are consuming all kinds of things anyway. So when we think about the world of business, is that humans are always going to consume lipstick, your shampoo, your makeup, your food, your t-shirt, your shoe, everything that humans need to be here. Everything you see, touch, this computer, the internet, everything that is contributing to the progressive advancement of society was created. Energy transfer. Somebody gave time, energy, attention to figuring out how to fly a plane. And then you just walk in, you want to fly, and you're not going to pay. You will pay. You will invest, right? So that you can participate in other people's creation. So business is how you are going to organize people, processes, structures, so that you can be productive and then sell what you produce to the world. That is just the base of it. Now, there's a whole lot more complexity to it, but I'm just saying, let's bring it down to that simple definition. Are you a producer or only a consumer? And if you're a producer, do you want to produce better results at higher levels so that you can get better rewards? Because you 100% determine the value of your productivity. You can produce at a certain skill level and you will be rewarded as an accountant, as a lawyer, as an engineer, as a doctor. That is the marketable value, the financial value attached to your productivity. If you are a nurse, you are contributing, you are using your life force in the medical field and in the marketable realm. People who are using it up are saying, this is what we will pay you. This is how we will pay you. Okay? You 100% determine what you contribute to society. Some people are contributing zero. They depend. They are not using their skill to add to other people's life. So they consume, right? So think of business as what's your contribution and then what reward do you want out of it? Let's just keep it that simple. And part of today's topic is you want to level up, is also leveling up your contribution. And in order to level up your contribution, you have to start at the soul level because the identity of your old contribution may need to be disrupted so that you can contribute at higher levels, right? So that you can expand the capacity you have to contribute at the highest levels. I'm keeping it simple at that level. And so until you disrupt yourself, nothing really changes. If you don't disrupt yourself, nothing changes. So when you say time management, self-discipline, character, emotional intelligence, when I talk about branding, marketing, sales, what is this all about? It's to increase the value of your contribution in the society, because once you do that, you can command and extract more value in the world. Let's keep it that simple. I know there's a lot more. I serve on the board of a publicly traded company. We can listen, there's a whole lot more complexity behind what I just shared. But I'm just saying at the simple DNA level of business is humans are consuming, people are producing. In order for you to produce, there's a lot of pain involved. This is where we talk about investor mindset. The farmer that is producing your tomatoes, do you know what the farmer has to go through? Guys, he's a producer. Do you know the pain, the work required to plant, harvest, and bring to market your food? You just go to Walmart, you gather the tomato, you cook your food, and you're happy. The reason you drop your money is to say thank you for the producers. The world will always say, the world is always supposed to say thank you to the producer. That is why personally, anytime I hear people say, oh, this capitalism is that, I'm like, ignorance is speaking. But I won't go into that topic today. Because when we don't understand this fundamental thing I just shared, that somebody is laboring to put food out there. You drive your car to a gas station and you just pump gas and you walk away and you forget that somebody is at the oil rig offshore drilling raw oil, sleepless nights, and you refuse to acknowledge humanity, right? You go to the bathroom, you flush, you forget that people are working day in, day out to clean sewage, to bring water, to bring you all the things that give you comfortable life. And you're telling me you won't pay. Guys, let's stop this. Let's stop this. You contribute your own to move the world forward. Stop saying this, that. Everybody, listen, admire. Whenever I see people working hard, guys, you need to start admiring them and give them their pay. Celebrate. Let's start celebrating hard work. It is painful because we are living at a time nobody wants to work anymore. Nobody wants to work. You think it's easy? You think it's easy to go out there and be tying the road where you're driving your car? You think it's easy to be farming and bringing you onions and tomatoes? You think it's easy? You think it's easy the work I'm doing? You think it's easy? Guys, let's stop this stuff. All this entitlement mindset, let's stop it. It breeds poverty thinking. Contribute yours and then you sweat. When you sweat a little, maybe you start respecting other people's contribution to society. It's people that haven't sweated at all. When you sweat, when you put yourself through pain to increase your productivity, when you discipline yourself, when you do the work people don't want to do, so that you can contribute at higher levels to the society, respect the grind. Respect it. It's actually people who haven't gone through any of these things that just sit back and then we say this. It's not that way. Those who are working really hard to bring value into the marketplace, they deserve every reward they ask for. And so, because when you two join and you two start producing, you will. That's why I say price your product. Price it well. Don't let anybody cheat you out of the rewards. A laborer is worthy of their wage. It's people that do not labor that do not get anything. So I am passionate. Listen, I'm on the side of the entrepreneur. I'm on the side of the business owner because trust me, the easy money you can make, stay, get a job, do that work with all your heart, make that money, live a good life. The day you cross over into this world of entrepreneurship, business development, cross over because you are here to drive impact and to serve people. If you cross over for any reason, okay, that's it. You get what you get. I'm not going to say too much. Renee, let's take it home.
I sort of have more questions based on the last piece that you just gave, because I think we are living, it seems to me that we're living in a time where people are making money. It's all work that I've experienced. Like, if you are making money setting up an Amazon shop, or somehow through NFTs, or in the stock market, you're not necessarily laboring for that, but there is some work involved. But in a way, it isn't free money. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I get a little bit.
Renee, this is what, let me share this. You're getting hung up in other people's business that is not yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I suspect you've lived in a world that criticizes this group of people.
Yes.
So you've adopted the language of the critic.
Yes.
You don't need it anymore. Drop it.
Okay.
Right? That world, you are not going to be able to change it, influence it. The only thing we can change is the best thing we can extract is, I know what not to be. Yes. I know what not to do. I don't want that. I'm going to go on my own journey, doing what suits my soul. Yeah. Go on.
I'm gonna actually take that insight and bring it back to something you said earlier. You said, what was our little kid doing, and how do we support our inner child? And I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I used to, when I was feeding the cows, brings tears to my eyes. I would go out and feed the cows, and I grew up an only child on a ranch, and so those chores were kind of lonely chores. I wasn't doing it with siblings, it was me and the cows. And I would get up on top of where I was feeding them, and I would wax philosophical, and I would talk to them like I was speaking to a giant audience. And just as you were saying, you know, what would support that inner child, what would speak to that part of my soul. I had that memory, and I think that's really important for me to keep in mind.
Renee,
and then the second
okay, go on please.
And then the second thing is, I was telling a friend of mine last night about being in these rooms with you, and how much you inspire me. And I was saying, you know, I'm finding this sort of fight for myself coming up again. And as I was describing it, he said, "Oh my God, I had forgotten that this thing, why I came to Montana, what I came here for." And you just reminded me of that. And then I was like, "What is it?" And he told me what it is that he came here to do, and that he felt like he was getting off track and he was getting sucked into video games and television. But because I was explaining this story and my experience with you and with myself right now, where I am in my own journey, that sparked in him like this piece of the puzzle awakening. And I felt myself flourish in that moment. I felt myself expand, and I just keep having these experiences, and I'm like, I'm on track. So one, I appreciate you reminding me and reminding us to not get caught up in the language of our history and survival so much, and to keep expanding into who we really are, to do that work. Because then when I get the feedback that it works, even for one person who's sitting in front of me, it makes a big difference.
It does work. It does work. It does work. And we're responsible for the choices we make about life. I'm not responsible for anybody else. And I choose not to be responsible for anybody else, except for those in my care, right? There are people put in my care, and I'm also very, very careful and gentle, even when I have this opportunity to engage with people publicly. In a way, it's a delicate moment. So I also take care that if you're investing time, energy here, I want to make sure you walk away fulfilled. So I am very, very deliberate in how I host such sessions. So I want to thank people who make time out to engage and also access the replay. I'm a custodian of incredible knowledge that I believe can move people in the world forward. But I'm very careful how I present it as well. I'm very, very careful, because you can't shove this thing down anybody's throat. I cannot think for anybody, but I can give you and present something to think about. And that's what I do. Hey, let's think together. Listen, guys, right? If you say you want this, let's think, right? Let's think differently. And so I see more comments. I always remember nobody, Dave says, I always remember nobody is coming to save you. Whew. I always say, for me, I say you are your own hero. Rescue your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. We have that. Hi, Jessica. Thank you, Renee, for also encouraging Jessica to come up. Hi, Jessica. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Yay! Finally, thank you for being here. I read your comments as well, and let me break it down, because Renee is right. The moment somebody speaks, I'm very surgical. I'll go straight to what's going on, because I work with different people, and I can, at this time, I can pin things up, and then I'll give you time to correct me if I'm wrong. From what you typed, this is what happens. Fear, FEAR.
Yep.
Okay. It does three things. We know it: fight, flight, freeze. Right? Do nothing.
Yes.
Fight,
100%.
fight is, you find people fighting shadows, boxing, complaining. It's a sense of frustration. Okay. Flight is, we give up, we shy away. We're like, leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered. That stuff, right? And then freeze is, I don't know the next step. I can't go forward, I can't go back. Being stuck. But
Yeah.
the key is recognize that it is fear. And then the next question is, what are you afraid of? And I think you put some things out there. I'll let you speak though. Go ahead, please.
No, that's 100%, I think, my biggest problem,
Mm-hmm.
or my main problem. I feel like it trickles into every area of life.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've done some inner work and just realized that one of my fears is fear of rejection, and I think that's why I'm afraid of displeasing God based on the lies that I've believed, that I shouldn't think of myself. Like I know that there's the pride version of thinking of yourself highly, but then there's like the godly version of seeing yourself as who you are and being proud of that because God made you. And I think I'm in the middle of like learning that, because for so long I had, I think, false humility and just really living from the acceptance of other people because I was rejecting myself.
Okay, Renee, let me shoot straight. I don't want to waste. I'm going to shoot like an arrow. You've adopted false theology. That's what you've adopted.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah,
religious
100%.
your religious belief is what is causing all of these things. And the danger of theology is that, listen, many of the people who pass this thing down, they are authority figures. And the worst case of this is when those authority figures carry this belief that they are representing God in our life.
Yeah.
This is the worst. This is the worst one you can deal with. It's the worst case, I'm telling you. Please, because it's easy if it's just a random person that is telling you stuff on social media or Fox News, right? You can easily deal with that. But when in the name of religion, and when there's power, authority, and when there's control and assertions, people clergy people carry such force. Earlier today, I posted something on LinkedIn. I said, thoughts are trying to impregnate your soul. They want to impregnate you, and when they impregnate you, you bear the seed. You give birth to, right? Is that so? When thoughts, and because the force of a religious environment is more powerful, I'm telling you guys, it's more powerful. It's so much. It's a lot of work to break out of false theology. I'll be honest with you, it's not easy, because it has a certain energy at the soul. You opened up your soul level. You gave up. You gave, like, whenever we go into church or any religious spaces, is that we are opening parts of us that many people cannot access. You don't give that side of you to your employer. You don't give that side of you to your government. You don't even give some of that side of you to your spouse. Do you know that the side of us that we give to religion, some people that are married, your spouse hasn't accessed that soul level of you. That's why sometimes pastors will tell certain people to do certain things. Their husband cannot tell them to do it. They would submit to a pastor, they won't submit to their husband. This stuff. So I'm calling this, I'm trying to create awareness that this is, you know what you're fighting.
Yeah.
Right? Whew. This is so deep. So the solution, sorry?
No, it is really, really deep. And like I've been going on a healing journey, as I mentioned in the comments, to, I was seeing a psychologist as well. And he was telling me, I mean, I told him, I feel like I'm deconstructing just the way that I see the entire world and even my faith, you know, and I was like, but I don't want to deconstruct to the point where I'm throwing out the good stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you the solution. The real solution.
Okay.
The real solution is to get to know the real God, not the one that people painted and gave to you.
Yeah.
That's the only solution, because the voices in your head, they've told you they are speaking on behalf of God. So the only person that can rewrite that thing is God himself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Any person that speaks to you and says, God this, God that, Jesus this, that, did that, they are tapping a side of you that is spiritual.
Yeah.
And the person that can rewrite it all is God himself. He's the only one that can show up and say, hey, Jessica, don't listen to them. Let me reveal my true self to you. I love you. I do not condemn you. I made you. I care about you. I do not judge you. I have gifted you. I am inspired by you. I'm in love with you. I want the best of you. And I want you to thrive. You have to start listening to that type of voice. Yeah? That voice is romantic. The real voice of God is loving, romantic, enjoyable. Those who haven't
Say that again? Will you say that again?
Oh my gosh. The true authentic God is a romantic God. That's why John 3:16 says he loved you so much, he sent his son to die for you. Has anybody ever done that for you before? This is the one we don't talk about. Somebody loved you so much, he gave up something just to get close to you. What other heights of love are you seeking? So that love is a love. And my scripture says, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. So what can you were already a sinner when he loved you. So why will he condemn you or reject you again? Why would he throw you out? Why would he throw the baby with the bathwater when he already rescued you from your depth of failure? Why would he want you to fail again? Why do you need to make sacrifices when he has already paid the ultimate sacrifice? He doesn't need your sacrifice. In fact, he doesn't. What he's asking us to do is to carry our cross. Personal development is carrying our cross. What we are responsible for. Jesus said, guard your heart. You are responsible for putting a boundary on your heart. He says, renew your mind. You are responsible for that. Right? So when I talk about all this work, no matter how much we go to church, if you fail to guard your heart, renew your mind, discipline yourself, you fail at your own assignment. God didn't fail you. You failed yourself. So many people who are Christian will pray. You have already received all you've received. At the spiritual level, you are fully loaded. You have power. You have dominion. The thing is, you don't have energy. Energy is a function of knowledge, capacity, understanding. My people perish for lack of knowledge. God's people, the same people he loved and died for, can perish because they refuse to study to show themselves approved. And so all this...
That's part of what the fear is, though, is that we're rejecting that gift.
No. What we are rejecting, Renee...
Rejecting the gift.
Renee, what we are rejecting is our responsibility. Listen, let's say you want to reap and harvest, but you are refusing to sow. Faith without works is dead. No matter, show me your faith by the things, practical things you are doing in the soul. Show me you believe God. They who know their God will do exploits. Show me your exploits. Show me the things you've attempted because of your faith. Show me the Goliath you've attempted to slay. That's when I know that you know this God. Because this God sent you here to show forth his glory, not to cower down and to be limited. He has empowered. Why would he give you Holy Spirit? If you don't need power, he says he's giving you power. He's giving you the name of Jesus. He's giving you the blood of Jesus. He's giving you to do what? To sit on the couch and do nothing? No. It's to go out there and rescue other people. But guess what? We always want to speak to the lower dimensions of us. We are addicted to remaining small. It's a safe place. It's very, very safe. But trust me, the day God encounters you, listen, this God, if he encounters you, he's going to throw you out there. Gideon, you are hiding. Mighty man of fall. He's going to call you the greatest name he has for you. Are you ready to hear that name? Because the moment you start seeing you the way he sees you, that's when you realize you are a daughter. Listen, do you know what it means to have access to the Most High God? No, people don't know what this means. They don't know. So that's why I said God has to, it's God that will unravel this thing for you. Because trust me, all this stuff that people are saying, this, there, it's just make believe. People who know the theory of God, they don't know the practice of God. The day you walk with God, you'll be careful. Not the theory. Remember, the traditional education system, it trained us in IQ. Many people are dealing with God with IQ only. That's why it says, walk in the spirit, you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. It's because certain people can keep teaching theology out of the flesh, not out of the spirit. Because when the spirit of the Lord is upon a message, it will give life, not fear. I haven't given you the spirit of fear, but of a sound mind, of power. Okay? So anybody that speaks to you, down to you, they are actually doing the assignment of the devil. The assignment of God is to speak to you and to empower you for success. So if you don't feel empowered, if you don't feel unstoppable, it's because you've been listening to the wrong voices. Because when God speaks, go and read all through scripture. Is that he's correcting you? Is that he's pruning you? Right? Is that he's shaping you? All for what? To unleash you. Whoever is to unleash you, is to unleash the greatest version of you. He doesn't break you. He doesn't break you to leave you down. He sharpens you. He sets you free. It is for freedom you've been set free. Don't be yoked again with all this nonsense and stories. Anybody you hear, anybody that speaks to you, that brings fear into your life, they are doing the work of the devil. Don't listen to them. Because the Spirit of the Lord sets free. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control. Those are the manifestation of the Holy Spirit. Anything else, reject it. Reject it. Throw it into the garbage can. Delete it from your life. I'm telling you for real. I'm telling you. Oh gosh, oh my gosh, Jessica.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. This is the deep stuff.
No, it's very deep, and it's like everything you were saying about who God is and his actual voice. Like when I hear that, my natural inclination is to say that doesn't sound right, because I've never, like, I've heard messages like that, and I know God is loving, but it just like speaks to a different part of my heart. So thank you for saying that.
Oh gosh.
I'm so grateful that you came to the stage, Jessica, because I think that there is I want to say a war happening for us, so that we can find our way. And what's fascinating to me is that business can be one of those tools, but also just looking at our experiences of the way that we have been entrained by society, and realizing that a lot of it is not true. And yeah, you're doing the work, and that's the powerful piece, and you should feel good about that.
Yeah, the key is that you cannot believe a mind that has been trained for failure. You cannot
That's so
believe
good.
you cannot believe a mind that has been tuned to be weak, to be helpless. You have to retrain. This is why God told Joshua, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. You will meditate upon it day and night. And I tell people it's like brushing your teeth. Why do you brush your teeth? It's because germs are trying to cling themselves to your white teeth. As long as you are here in this dimension, thoughts are flying everywhere, words are flying everywhere, trying to shape your belief system. They are all going for your heart. Your heart needs to be protected, guarded, nourished, because that's where you deal with God, is your heart. That's why God can use words to bypass your mind and get straight into your heart. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, your heart is your heart will not lead you astray, but your mind can. Because your mind can be a subject, right? Your mind can be a subject, can be programmed by society, by nurturing, by authority figures. And one of the ways is that everybody, because I suspect, this is what I also suspect might be happening. There are certain people you are afraid of because their voices are loud and they've shaped you. Part of the process is you have to dethrone those people because they've taken the role of God in your life. Because if God is telling you go forward and their voices is louder, their voice is stronger, that means that they are more they've taken God's role, because God's voice is what ought to be leading us. The only voice that you ought to be listening to, responding to, right, is God's voice. But when somebody else's voice is stronger and you're afraid of them, it's not that you're afraid of God. You said you're afraid. It's not God you're afraid of. God doesn't deal with you in fear. You are afraid of those who say you should be afraid of God.
Mm.
Okay? Some people have taught you that you need to be afraid of God. And so you are afraid of what those people have said. You have to remove those voices. You have to dethrone them. They have to become less relevant in your life, if any. They have to not be your authority figure anymore. And then you need to put God back in his place, because God himself wants to speak to you directly without going through a middleman. He wants to commune with you. He wants to love on you. He wants to guide you. He's here to rescue you from their claws. Right? So God, God, listen. God is a loving God. He's a loving God. He's actually the only person that really cares about you. All those people, no. He's the only one that actually he cares about you more than your mom, more than your dad, more than your siblings, more than all of those people. He's the one. He bettered you, he created you, he nurtured you, he knows what he sent you here for. They don't know. Do you know they don't know you? There are parts of you they've never met. There are parts of you they've never met. They've not even seen the strongest, fiercest side of you. And you know this. You know at the inner core level how fierce you are. Never mind what you are putting out there and projecting to them. You are giving them what they want to see. They want to see weakness. We are giving them weakness to make them happy. But I know you. When I say I know you, is that I've dealt with people enough that the fiercest side of you, most people hide that side. And that's the side where God lives in. God lives in David that would be courageous. God lives in your courage. But the world doesn't want to see it. There are some people who don't want to see you courageous. So they are nursing weakness. It's like if you go to an hospital and the hospital never wants to release you, run away from that hospital. They want to keep you sick. There are some, there are some places, religious spaces, their full time is to be nursing people, not to healing people. It's different. If you are a healing center, people come in weak, they leave empowered. But there are some places that they're not looking to make anybody whole, because part of their own success is keeping people down. Be careful for those places. There are some coaches like that, by the way. You know that 6 months after, you're not well. A year after, you're still paying them. If you've spent a year in a coaching program and you are not well and you are not whole, run away. Renee, you are paying somebody for it. I'm not telling you not to keep leveling up. I'm saying if after a year you've not made much progress, you're still where you used to be. Even that place is dangerous to your well-being. That's why I'm not, listen, when you hear my voice, my coaching program, you come in, listen, this an hour, 2 hours later, you I don't cuddle people. I don't cuddle people, because when we cuddle people, it's like giving them a crutch. I'll tell you what Jesus said. Carry your mats. Carry that thing you crawled in with. Carry it. Your faith has made you whole. Go and live your life. If we cannot do that, what are we doing? Jesus will say, carry your mat. That thing you are sleeping on. That limitation. Peter said, silver or gold I have none. But in the name of, carry your this. Carry it. That crutch. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. When you encounter the Jesus of the gospel that is alive and well, it is not going to cuddle you. It will tell you, throw away all of those things you are leaning on. Stand on your 2 feet and run your race. Run after him. Go and sin no more. That's what he will say. Because it is sin for us to believe a lie. So I don't cuddle anybody. I'm not, listen, I don't cuddle anybody. If you want transformation, if you want impact, we will go deep so that we'll go high. This is the voice. And I'll say exactly what Jesus does. Your faith will make you whole. But let's not be married to the voices that keep us crawling on the ground. Oh, I can't do this, so I can't do that. I can't do this. It's a voice that is not God's voice. That's not how God made us. He will say in the beginning it wasn't so. It will tell us in the beginning it wasn't so. So when you hear my voice, listen, let the battery in your car come alive. If you've been running on low energy, low power, I'll say in the name of Jesus, come on, get some power packed, pack more power and let's go. We have places to go, things to do, impact to make, guys. Well, there are people waiting. Can you imagine? There are people waiting on you. You know that. There are people lined up, thousands of people waiting for you to figure this out so that you can help them figure their own life out. So let's hurry up. Let's hurry up, figure these things out. If I didn't hurry up, will I be here now to encourage other people? Run your race fast, quantum leap, because we have work to do. Yeah, the harvest is plenty, the laborers are few. Enroll. God needs you to enroll in leadership, community leadership, whatever welfare. We need able workers, producers to be serving the community. Everybody wants to take. About time. We need to send everybody out of the church to go and be serving the community. If the church burst out, if the church of God burst out and is equipped to touch one person. If today, everybody that say they are a Christian, if they would just grab somebody's hand and give life to one person, where would we be as a world? Anyway. Whew. This wasn't planned, wasn't expected, but God has his own plans. We just show up. Jessica, go on.
So much. No, I was just gonna say thank you. Yeah, for me, I think growing up, my family's from Romania, so I grew up in a Romanian church, and the culture in general is very like, woe is me. I think off the top of my head, I could say that's like the one thing they like to complain about their suffering. And granted, I know that was like, I think, implanted because of communism. And that's what they grew up in. But definitely church for me growing up was very much like banging you over the head. You're a terrible sinner. And, you know, the compassion and love and grace, while that message was, you know, said, you know, Jesus died for our sins and he loves you, it was still met with, on top of that, by the way, you really suck. So,
you know, each culture has its battles. Each culture has its battle. Well, culture has been weaponized. Think about the African American culture in the US as well. Through slavery, religion was weaponized against blacks.
he said,
Yeah.
stop looking to your left and to your right. Look to me. And looking back, I know that that's what he was talking about, to really seek him above all else. And put away all those voices.
And there are voices and stories that originated, their source is outside of you, but they've been immersed in you. They've been plugged into you so that you can carry it forward and impregnate somebody else. Like, just by you doing this work, you've broken the cycle. There are thoughts, words, stories that originated, the roots of it is not God. But societies and culture, they pass it on. They pass it on until somebody says, not mine.
Yeah, and even how you had said that God's love is romantic and he literally sent his son to die. Like when you said that, it just made me think of how culture now says that that's toxic, because in a sense, they're throwing out what true love and romance is.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you see, humans, the moment we show up in this world, we manufacture stories. True, bad, good, right? That's why Bible also talks about passing the most authentic version and experience of God, passing it generation to generation. Remember, in the Bible, when they crossed the Red Sea, every major thing that happens, there is a culture. God knows that he also has to impregnate culture with his own true story to replace everything else before that. Jesus also knew he had to impregnate culture with new stories. So when you think about the parables were to impregnate us. He will say, the kingdom of God is like this. The kingdom of God is like this. The kingdom of God is like this. One of the stories he taught that he impregnated culture with is, the kingdom of God is like a man that sows a seed. Okay? And day and night, right? He did, right? And then suddenly he comes back for harvest. What happened between sowing and reaping is how God works. He's telling us, your job is to sow in faith, and your job is to reap in faith. You see this process, the principle of sowing and reaping, God has put some conditions that is outside of your control. Your job is to keep believing. So Jesus brought new stories that is saying you can hang your life on these new stories. When I say hang, I mean you can bank, you can hold on tight. This is eternal life, to know God and Jesus Christ who he sent. You can hold on to that. There are many things you shouldn't hold on to. There are many, many other stories. Because whenever any story comes into your heart, you need to start asking, where did this come from? You know, today now in US, they are doing, this month is Halloween, right? Where did that come from? Right? Every day today, now everybody's like, oh, dress up this, dress up that. And if you're a Christian, you don't interrogate those stories. You don't know the source of the story. And you are adopting, believing it, putting things on your... This is what's happening with culture. Something that originated in paganism. Years later, it's adopted, celebrated, crowned, commercialized. And now, children being born that didn't know the origination, they are dressing up. It's the same thing. We do this over and over and over and over and over and over again. Culture loves to bring stories out of a place, sell it everywhere. And if you like, you buy it. If you like, don't buy it. The question is, which stories are you buying? Because the one you buy is the one you identify with. The one you identify with will influence and shape your future. And I know everything I just said can trigger some people. It's okay. We come from different sides of this discussion. You believe it, I don't. You adopt it, I don't. It's okay. It's okay. Your stories will shape you. My stories will shape me. Stories are powerful. In fact, people fight for stories. People die for stories. Stories shape belief, and humans hold on to stories. So let's be careful. That's why when you spoke at the beginning, I knew this one is not something anybody can compete with. Anybody that has used religion, authority, any authority figure, religious leader, if you've allowed them to speak into your life, it's a bigger force. It's a bigger force. It's not that the newspaper, it's not Fox News didn't say this one, CNN didn't say this one, it's not social media, it's literally spiritual leaders. That one you have to go and figure it out. It's deep. It's deep. And that's why I say only God can compete and fight for that voice back. Because anybody that comes in the name of God and is saying this, whew, it's a different battle. It's a different battle. It's a different battle. I trust me, I know that. So, but I'm glad that you took on the courage to share that, and I hope and pray that at least me meeting, I gave about an extra hour to this type of discussions, which is because I know that this work, this is where everything starts. You know why business starts in this dimension is because your wealth, the business idea, is a spiritual gift to you, right? Businesses are built on idea, and I know that if you don't do the internal work, that idea, there are also thoughts that want to kill that idea, that want to minimize it. Yeah.
Like even for me, like in work, I do graphic design, I do fashion design, and I always question my own judgment if someone has an opinion, and I've been really breaking out of that and just trusting my own instincts. And I think God's just really been helping me through it. But if you don't 100% believe who God says that you are, then you're going to listen to it's one thing to take criticism and to, develop your skills better and to, okay, you don't like this, that's fine, let's go a different direction. And then it's another thing that when everyone has an opinion and you constantly don't listen to your own judgment because of what someone else says. And that's something I definitely struggled with, and I can see how that relates into every area of business.
Yes. And the reason for that is that there are different types of growth that is non-physical. All you have to do to grow physically is eat good food, eat good food, eat good food. What people generally don't explain to us, but I'm sharing today as a success secret, is that your mind is a digestive system of its own. The nutrients, right? When I talk about education, transformation, motivation, inspiration, right? Challenging, right? Like your mind needs some, good stuff, good nutritious stuff, so that when you sleep at night, this is physiology, by the way. Science has done this. When you sleep at night, the body renews itself. the mind will process all the information you consumed, including this engagement. It will go deeper. It will file it. Whatever is useful, whatever is useless. Just like the physical body will eat food, it will extract nutrients and then it will release the useless stuff. Every single night, your brain is doing the exact same thing. Whatever you expose yourself to during the day, when you sleep at night, the mind wants to comprehend, file, right? Because it's cooking. The mind is cooking. It's trying to manufacture your reality. Okay? When you are sleeping, it takes over. You are now asleep. The mind takes over. Whatever. But here's the thing: the only way you control that process is to keep investing, right? Because tonight now, the process will be different simply of this transformation. When you wake up tomorrow, you'll be a different person because there are some things that are now in you that was not in you 2 hours ago. Yes, thoughts are going into us. The mind wants to make sense of it because what you program your mind with is what it will find useful to produce in your life. The day you want to produce more, you have to go in search of more knowledge, more education. You want to be a doctor, we need medical knowledge. You want to be a lawyer, we need legal knowledge. You cannot function outside of a knowledge you've never invested in. You cannot function in a capacity that you've not exposed your mind to. The mind cannot grab and use knowledge that is outside of itself. The only one it can use is the one that is inside. And the way you bring knowledge into you, you read books, you take classes, you listen to people, right? You expose yourself to a thinking, a way of thinking that is useful to your being. But when we expose ourselves to a way of thinking that is toxic to your being, you will see the effect. When you expose yourself to thoughts, opinions that are toxic, it will show up. You will doubt yourself, limited belief, imposter syndrome, anxiety. These are all the symptoms of thoughts flying within your internal universe that we've not processed in the most positive way. Think about indigestion. When you eat food and you're having indigestion, the uncomfortable feeling that something is off. You've ingested something that your body, right? When you think about people who have lactose intolerance, if you, I'm telling you, your mind it cannot tolerate foolishness. It will result in anxiety. Something inside you will be nervous. Why? Because you have ingested something, a thought, an idea that your body is saying, we need to eject this. We need to delete it. So the question is, you have to put yourself through a new process that refines and deletes all those things. What do you believe? Why do you believe it? Who made you believe it? Is this true or is this a lie? Is this what? And then you take God's word. This is what the world says. This is what you start. Listen, you have to be overriding everything. Overriding. That's your full-time job, to be reprogramming yourself. And the deeper the programming, the more we have to do this work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's painful. It's painful. I'm telling you. I won't kid you. So in the world of business, listen, my school will cover all the technical things, branding, marketing, this, but what I have realized over years now is that if you dare brand yourself as you are, you can brand a cat instead of a lioness. Which one would be more powerful? So that's why I say we go deep so that we go far, we go high. That's what we do. So my school, listen, let me talk about my school. It's a transformational program, right? Because yes, it's for entrepreneurs, but I tell you, entrepreneurship is the highest, fullest expression of human creativity and productivity. And the version of us that is here to do the work is the version most people have not developed. Confidence, you need to give that version of you confidence. You need to make sure the voice, communication, right? The audacity to show up, and fight for all your dreams, hopes, aspirations. There needs to be a fight in you. You know that. But the world has been programming you not to fight. They've been programming you to give up, to be weak. I'm telling you, lioness, you will fight. Maybe I need to call you guys lion. Lioness. Oh, my lioness will fight. Oh, you have to rescue your hopes, dreams, and aspiration from the claws of this stuff. You have to. You have to fight for your future. The future you fight for is the one you deserve. You remember the children of Israel, they didn't fight for the promised land. So, in a way, they signal to God that they don't deserve it. So they let it go. They let it slip simply because they didn't want to fight. That's why I say you fight. This future, you show up with skills, tenacity, confidence, audacity, intentionality. Which other spirituality? Woo! All the litty you show up with. Go on, Jessica.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to say all of the things that you said to me. This morning I was praying and I asked God to really just reveal himself to me and show me who he is and show me who I am. And I feel like this was an answered prayer. So thank you.
Okay. God, oh wow. I don't know. Ouch. I say ouch because oh my gosh. Wow. This is real life, guys. This is real life. It's not, people say money, this. This is real life. Oh man. This is real life. Yeah. I appreciate your saying that. And I really pray that, this gives birth to whatever God is trying to do for you in and through you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. Freedom. Freedom is what we are all looking for. Freedom to be who God has called us to be. That's it. Yes, it may be business. Yes, it may be this. But trust me, the day you awaken and give yourself, well, the day you are free, the day you feel free, freedom of thoughts, freedom of thinking, freedom of expression, your words, freedom. There's also emotional freedom. When your heart can sing, can speak, can live, can express, it's a different feeling. It's worth it. It's worth fighting for. For you to be in this world and to be free in your mind, free in your heart, free in your being, free financial freedom. That is, listen, that is the zip code God lives in. I'm telling you, because only God can give you that freedom. Man cannot give it to you. Yes,
Yeah,
go on.
and part of just like some things that I've been learning, because I know it doesn't, like, my belief system, I don't teach my kids what I actually believe. And I
Wow.
noticed that I would speak to my daughters because I tried to empower them because I knew I grew up kind of living out of fear and I don't want them to live that way. And I think that's our natural set point based on, like you said, the world's ingrained so much. And, I probably taught them or imprinted things that I was just like doing naturally. And so now I'm trying to break those cycles for their lives. And then even just thinking that God made us in his image and he's a creator. And I think that humans are creators. Yeah, you're not going to necessarily be creative with your hands all the time. Like I am creative in that way. And I know not everyone is.
Ooh.
But I do believe that when you give life to your thoughts, that's creating something.
Oh, yes.
When you give life to your ideas, that's creating something. So when we're actually living from a place of being creative, even in the workplace, finding solutions, creating new, platforms, new businesses, like that's being in the image of God. So,
oh, by the way, Everybody is creating, whether you are creating consciously or subconsciously. You're creating.
Yeah.
You're manifesting whether you like it or not. This process is doing it more in an intentional, creative way so that you arrive where you want to arrive. Whether you like it or not, your thoughts, your mind, your emotion is already creating your life. Whether you like it or not, the way God shaped man and he left us here, when he dropped us here, he dropped us here as a creative being. Listen, your cells are creating. Whether you like it or not, whether even if you don't do anything with your hands, your mind is an energy. Listen, science has proven this. Science has proven this. Science, your thoughts, they are creating your reality just by thinking. That's why today I said an untrained, untamed mind will create and think chaos and manifest chaos. That's the default. If you start a car and you don't tame it with the steering wheel, it will end up eventually in a ditch. It will create a reality simply because it wasn't put under order. This process of self-discipline, self-mastery, think of it as driving the car and saying, listen, eyes on the road. We are going to California. Don't turn. That is the daily practice, the daily discipline. Turn right, turn left. Boom, boom, boom. Think, I want this image to be sealed in your mind. How are you driving your life today? Your mind will want to go this way. You say, come back. It wants to turn this way. You say, come back. You know your car alignment. You tune it to say, where I turn you is where you go. The tire shouldn't go to the wrong dimension. Otherwise, take it to the mechanic and let him treat your car. So your mind has to be trained and tamed. Otherwise, if you let it go and let culture train it, let nurture train it, they will impose their own life on you. You will arrive where they arrived. Whoever they are, right? Whoever they are, their words, thoughts, their fears, they put it in you. Their hopes, they want to live their life in and through you. The day you wake up and you say, you see this life? You did your own. You lived your own. You lived it the way you wanted to live it. Enough. You see this one? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate you, but this one, this is where, by the way, I wish our culture had ritual, right, like routines of helping mature young adults, right? Of helping young ladies and young men in a way where we hand over responsibility and authority to them for their life. I wish we had a structured way. The reason is because many people move into adulthood without regaining the full authority over their life. Many people move into adulthood, and yet the strings of the past, they're still trying to command you. They're still trying to tell you this, who to be, how to talk. They are still trying to police your words, even though you're a full-grown adult. They still want to be talking to you how they talked to you when you were 5 and 10. We don't have a rite of passage that says, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. You see, from here on out, your voice has zero impact. Mine have 100% on my life. We don't do that because many people still want to be controlling you. You are 50. They still want their voices to matter to you when it shouldn't. Right? There are some voices that their voice ought to not matter when you turn 20. I'm just saying, listen, you don't have to accept me because that's why when God wants to use you, he will separate you in a way. And if you don't allow him to separate you, all those garbage, you carry it forward. There are some garbages you ought to throw in the day. Listen, the day you are moving out, there are some things you need to throw in the ocean and not carry into your new territory. There are some thoughts, ideas that they try to pack for you that you should go and use in your own life. You are like, no, It doesn't belong to me. No, thank you. It's not useful. Useless information, you throw it in the garbage. But when we don't do that audit, you carry everything from childhood, everything from culture, everything from nurturing, you manifest them in your current life. Your life now looks their life like their own. You stop it. You have to stop it. This is adulting 101. Your choice, the choice you have to live the life God has for you, the way you see it fit, not theirs, right? The way you and God decided. And so if you haven't arrived there, we have a long way to go. Long way to go. I know this is off because when I say off, I mean many people don't attach this to business, but I'm telling you that business entrepreneurship journey is a soul level journey. It's not about anybody. It's not about pleasing anybody. It's a fight for you to do what God wants you to do. So if you've not done the preliminary fight, or even just rescuing your voice out of the influence, how can you then speak, right? Discipline, focus. Because the past wants your attention, the future wants it. Which one are you going to give it to? Your time, energy, and resources is by being competed. Everybody competes for you. They want you here, there, and you don't. And as long as you are trying to please, who are you trying to please, God or man? Decide. So I know this is unusual for many people, but it's necessary. My clients and I, we go there because we go deep so that we can go high. And so check out toyinumesiri.academy if you want to explore and join us. I invite you to join us if you're ready to do the inner work, inner discipline, mindset work, art work. I just released a program last week, Emotional Intelligence for Entrepreneurs, because part of relationship success is tied to our ability to cultivate meaningful relationship with other people. And if we haven't cultivated relationship with ourselves, I also put a lot of science stuff and psychology, self-leadership, self-mastery, right, self-regulation. I put it in that class. And then we also definitely have the 10-week accelerator program, business, mindset, the game plan, my books, my classes, over 300 resources. So that's where I put all of my materials as a business educator, spiritual mentor, on and off. Christian faith, spiritual mentor. I use a lot of biblical principles. So if you want to explore, check it out on Clubhouse. If you're listening to the replay and you're in the room, the link is up above. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. And then if you want to work one-on-one with me, reach out as well. When you join the academy, I also do one-on-one because again, this is a personal thing. So I want to thank everybody. This has been unusual, but I think it was necessary, impactful, transformational. And I just pray that this session, this moment gives back to some form of greatness, opportunity, and new life in us. I remember several weeks ago, I had the opportunity to preach in church, and the title was The Birth of a New Identity. And I strongly believe in that, whether in the church or even in secular realms, is that there is a side of us that we are putting out there. The question is that the most powerful version of you? Is that the most effective version of you? If not, why not? If not, why not? I'm wrapping up. Someone requested to come. Okay, Chuku, how are you? Greetings. Is there something you wanted to say before I close out the space?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to thank you. I've been here listening to your whole dialogue and discussion, and your observations and encouragements for positivity, human nature, and just keeping an uplifted and ascending perspective about the true power that you carry coming from the divine. And I just wanted to thank you for the boldness of the articulation of the message you've been sharing. And I wanted to thank Jessica for also sharing from her own perspective on her experiences growing up, from her spiritual background, and how she's interacting and listening to the principles you've been sharing. I mean, I've been here the whole time listening, so I said, since you're about to close, let me just
thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I do. I do. I do. Not everybody can speak to the greatest side of us. Not everybody can see us the way we want to be seen. What I have found is that most people prefer to engage with the weakest side of humanity. It's a sad thing. I don't know why. I don't know how we got there. I think maybe some people do it to make themselves more powerful and other people weak. They have to tear down people to maintain their status. Because the day you become more powerful, they lose their position in your life. People who erect themselves as authority figures, the day you claim your position, they won't be relevant anymore. And so there are certain times when people, their attempts to hold on to power, assertions, control, whether in religious realms, family, culture, not like everywhere you go, even in corporate, right? Why do people tear other people down? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. But for me, my own choice, my own decision is that anybody I encounter, I really do want to leave that person connected to their greatness, because it's inside you, it's not outside of you. Nobody can. That's why I say the world, see, the systems cannot give this to you. You are the one to give this to yourself. You are the one to fight for it. You have to actually believe in this, that all things are possible to them that believe. What you believe is what you are going to experience. So I'm just saying, believe more for yourself. Believe more power, believe more influence, believe more wealth. It's a lot of work. Trust me, it's a fight. That's why I say it's a fight, because there will be days you don't want to believe. That's why even in the program, the emotional intelligence program, when I talk about self-leadership, I break down 6 dimensions of self-leadership, because every single place you can give up. If you don't inspire yourself, if you don't activate yourself, if you don't inspire yourself, if you don't educate yourself, if you don't motivate yourself, if you don't challenge yourself, if you don't transform yourself, listen, every step of the way, these are the things every day we need. This is the nutrition that we need, right? Just like we tell you, eat your balanced diet. The balanced diet to keep showing up and making progress is, we need inspiration, we need transformation, we need motivation, we need education, we need a challenge. Something has to challenge you, has to shake you in such a way that you jump up and you go get it. And most of the voices out there, they do exactly the opposite. They leave you where you are. They say we should entertain you to nothingness, TikTok you to nowhere, keep scrolling and scrolling and remain on the couch. That's what the world is selling right now. Entertain, entertain, entertain. Where are they going? Nowhere. Who did they want to be? Nobody. And be careful, guys. Be careful. The senses wants to pleasure itself. You eat too much food is dangerous. Any form of pleasure, including entertainment, 4 hours a day social media, 10 hours a week social media, they are pleasuring you to nothingness. Careful, guys. There are dangers all over, reasons that people don't arrive, they're all over. How do we stay focused on a roadmap? That's why I have the roadmap to business growth and success. The 10-week accelerator. Stay focused. 3 hours, 4 hours every week. Stay focused. Don't lose. I always tell my students, use social media. Don't let social media use you. Use social media. Don't let social. I drum these things into my students and clients. Use it to advance your own goals, but know that it also has its own goals. You become a pawn if you don't know what to do with your time, energy, and attention. But it is very useful. In the right hands, we will use these things. Just like money, we will use it well. We will use it to advance the kingdom of God. Listen, we just preached today now. We will use social media to connect, to share, to encourage, to inspire, to motivate, to challenge, to invite, transform. And then I'll invite you. You want more? ToyinUmesiri.academy. We are doing that every day. We've created a space that will not distract you. It's 100% education, inspiration, motivation, challenge. Yes, I'll challenge you. So that's it. That's the offer. That's the challenge. The heart and discipline of leveling up is 100%, right? What we decide to do with our time, energy, and resources, and how we quiet ourselves, how we focus. And I just want to be a voice in the world that just helps people you know, achieve greatness, their highest level that God has for them. It's between you and God. Let me just serve as a catalyst to help speed it up in your life. Everybody will be happy. It's win, win, win. I'm happy, you're happy, God is happy. That's it. That's it. When we can get those three things, that's it. We can celebrate, we can have some fun, we can praise, we can enjoy life, we can live this abundant life that God has for us. By the way, that's a program in my school as well. I taught sessions to young adults, abundant life. There's a lot of scripture in that one. If you have the appetite for that, check it out. toyinumesiri.academy. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, bye now. God bless. Let me end.